Find out who will win the 2018 All-Star Home Run Derby coming up on the first pitch. Roll the intro. Good morning and welcome to the first pitch. My name is Brent, also known as Clemhawks, and today I'm going to be giving you the rundown of the Home Run Derby. We will be going matchup by matchup, face-off by face-off, and find out who will win the Home Run Derby. Let's jump into the first matchup of the night. The first match set tonight in the Home Run Derby will be Jesus Aguilar in the number 1 seed versus Rhys Hoskins in the number 8 seed. It's the Brewers versus the Phillies, and right now, this could be an upset. Looking at the stats, we will go stat by stat. Jesus Aguilar at the number 1 seed has 24 home runs. He has got the average distance of 394 feet, an exit velocity of over 90 miles per hour at 90.6, a launch angle of 17.7, his barrel percentage, how often he can square up a ball, 12.9, and his slugging is .626. That's Jesus Aguilar. Now here's where the upset comes in. It is possible that Rhys Hoskins could take over Jesus Aguilar right away in the first match of the night. He's only got 14 home runs, but his average distance, 396. Exit velo a little bit on the lower side at 88.8, but his launch angle, and this is where it could be huge, or it could hurt him, depending on which way you want to look at it. The launch angle, 21.8. Now that launch angle, that could be a big thing for him, or it could really hurt him. Obviously, the ball could go farther with a higher launch angle, but it's going to take more time, and that could ultimately hurt him by not getting as many reps and ultimately not hitting as many home runs. However, if he's hitting more balls and they're going farther, he could get that extra time, that 30 seconds, which could really help him in the long run. His barrel percentage is only 11%, so that's, a little bit lower than Jesus Aguilar, and his slugging is only .445. What's really going to help Hoskins is if he can start launching balls into, the third deck or whatever, and that would really help him, get the extra 440 feet, the extra time, and that's going to help him, obviously, in the long run if he could just keep launching those balls. Obviously, he can't go a 21.8 launch angle every time. Otherwise, that's obviously going to hurt him with the amount of time that he's wasting. Ultimately, though, I do think Jesus Aguilar will win and advance to the second round, but it will be close, and this is a possible upset that you definitely want to keep an eye on. The next matchup of the night, Alex Bregman, the only AL player in the Home Run Derby, at the 4 seed going up against Kyle Schwarber from the Cubs at the 5 seed. This could be a great matchup as well. Let's jump into the stats. Alex Bregman, 20 home runs, a 384 average. Keep an eye on that. An exit velo of 89.5, a 16 launch angle, only an 8.5 barrel percentage, and a 538 slugging. Let's jump into Kyle Schwarber. 5th seed for the Chicago Cubs. 18 home runs, an average distance of 401 feet. Again, keep an eye on that. An exit velo of over 90 miles an hour, 90.4. The launch angle at 12.1. 12.1. Keep an eye on that as well. Barrel percentage, 14.4, which is significantly higher than Bregman's, and a slugging of 500%. To me, this is an easy pick. I'm going with Kyle Schwarber. He is a big dude with a lot of power. Look at the average distance, the exit velo, the launch angle, and the barrel percentage. That's all you need to know. The home runs, he's facing harder pitchers. I don't know. Bregman's got that short porch in Houston that could really help him out pulling the ball. Kyle Schwarber, Wrigley Field's a big park. Ball doesn't carry there as well unless it's really hot. But just look at the numbers. The average distance, 401. He's going to easily be able to hit a couple over 440, get the extra time. Bregman might not be able to with the 384. The exit velo is just going to be in favor of Kyle Schwarber. The launch angle, he's going to be hitting line drives. And I'm talking about Kyle Schwarber here. Line drives, it's going to be a lot easier for him to, get some more swings in, get some more home runs. And then obviously the barrel percentage is a big part of this. It's almost double of Bregman's, which means he's going to be squaring up balls a lot more. The obvious pick here is Kyle Schwarber. Next up, the hometown hero, number 2 seed, Bryce Harper. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Freddie Freeman at the 7th seed going up against Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper, 23 home runs, second most to Jesus Aguilar. A 214 average as of yesterday, July 15th rather. 23 home runs, 214 average. This guy was made for the home run derby. I know there's a lot of grief about him being in the All-Star game. I'm one of those people that don't think he should be in the All-Star game, but the home run derby, Bryce Harper is in this event for a reason. He's hitting 23 home runs with a 214 average. It's basically, that's all he's doing, is hitting home runs. His exit velo is 90.6 with an average distance of 409. That is absolutely huge. And obviously he's going to be hitting them over 400, 450. You know, he's going to be hitting monster shots. A launch angle of 15.1. Again, a line drive hit with a 13.9 barrel percentage. He's going to be squaring up balls and a slugging of 468. Freddie Freeman, on the other hand, it's going to be a good matchup, but I don't think he's going to be able to take over Bryce Harper. 16 home runs for Freeman, average distance of 401, so he's going to be able to compete with the distance. But the exit velo is a little less with 89.6. The barrel percentage is only 11%, and his launch angle is 13.9. So he's going to be hitting line drives, but they're not going to be able to go as far, and that's what I ultimately think is going to be the deciding factor in this. The launch angle is just not going to be enough. Bryce Harper, you know, he's got some power, and this is his event. In the hometown, he's going to go on and beat Freddie. Next up, Max Muncy versus Javier Baez, the 3 seed versus the 6 seed. Max Muncy, 22 home runs, 276 average, and you'll see why I put that in there in a second. A 402 distance, 91.6 exit velo. He's also got the exact same exit velo as Javier Baez. A launch angle of 17.6. He's going to be hitting rockets. Barrel percentage, 19%. Slugging, .615. That's some good numbers right there. Javier Baez, I don't know here. 19 home runs, 293 average. Again, I'll get to that in 1 second. 404 distance with an exit velo of 91.6. A launch angle of 10.4. A barrel percentage of 13.1 and a slugging of .571. Now let me tell you, I was very convinced that Bryce Harper would walk away with this competition until I looked at this matchup. If you look at Javier Baez and Max Muncy, both of them are going to be putting on a show. They both have a huge home run distance, 402 and 404. Their exit velo is outstanding. But then take a look at their barrel percentage, 19% and 13.1%. They're going to be squaring up balls and squaring up balls often. Now, this is where I get, you know, kind of iffy. Who's going to win this? I ultimately believe Javier Baez, the 6th seed, will overtake Max Muncy. I do believe that that 404 distance, that exit velo, if it is true, will hold up against Muncy. His launch angle is just too much at 17.6 compared to Baez's at 10.4, the lowest in this home run derby. And he's still squaring up balls at 13.1%. So I'm going to pick Javier Baez as the 6th seed to beat Max Muncy here. That's a big upset. And I believe that Javier could actually beat Harper. That's what we'll talk about right now. So let's go back up the side of the mountain here, starting with Harper versus Javier Baez. This is why I mentioned the average. If you look at Bryce Harper's home runs in the 2 seed at 23, his average 214. Now that means he's basically only hitting home runs once every, 5 at-bats. Javier Baez has a 293 average with 19 home runs, only 4 less, and he's got only a 5-foot difference in the average distance. This, to me, could be the biggest upset of the night if Javier Baez can use his launch angle at 10% and keep squaring up balls. As you can see, the average, the only reason I bring the average into this is all I'm saying is Bryce Harper, that's all he's doing, is hitting home runs. Javier Baez can square up balls, all over the field, but he is consistently squaring them up at 293, and that's what I think is going to help him square them up and get them over the fence. So if you look at Baez's numbers, they very well compete with Bryce Harper. I do think that Harper will pull it out, but this could be the biggest upset of the night. You know, depending on if Baez can beat Max Muncy and ultimately if Hoskins can beat Aguilar. I do think Harper will win, though, because he is the hometown hero. I do think, though, that this could be the biggest upset of the night if Baez could, you know, square up some balls, line drives, and get them over the fence. Harper's really going to have to, you know, just keep hitting home runs. Baez, though, I think will be able to pull off this upset. If anybody is going to be able to pull off the upset. But ultimately, I do think Harper will make it to the finals just because he is the hometown guy, and I think he will find a way, but it could be, like I said, the biggest upset of the night. And now we get to the other semifinal, Jesus Aguilar at the 1 seed, going up against, I believe, Kyle Schwarber. This could also be a huge matchup in the semifinal. You look at Jesus Aguilar as the 1 seed. He's got 24 home runs with a 394 average and an exit velo of 90.6. The launch angle, 17.7, as we've already covered. Kyle Schwarber, 18 home runs. He's got a farther average distance at 401 and a shorter launch angle, or a shorter line drive hit, I guess, at 12.1. So he is going to be able to hit more line drives than Jesus Aguilar, and I think that's just ultimately going to hurt Jesus Aguilar, and I believe Kyle Schwarber will be facing Bryce Harper in the finals. There's not much to say about this. Kyle Schwarber's got a higher barrel percentage, a shorter launch angle, about the same exit velo, and a longer average distance. I think this is obvious. Kyle Schwarber will be able to overtake Jesus Aguilar for another upset, but this one, you know, I believe that it's not much of an upset because Kyle Schwarber, he's made to hit home runs. Jesus Aguilar, not quite familiar with him as much as Kyle Schwarber, but I know Kyle Schwarber just hits bombs. If you've seen him in the show, he just hits bombs. Jesus Aguilar, he's going to be able to compete, but I do think Kyle Schwarber will be able to overtake. And that means for the final, we will have Bryce Harper versus Kyle Schwarber, and ultimately, I think it's going to be the hometown hero. That's right, I'm picking Bryce Harper to win the All-Star Home Run Derby for the 2018 season. Ultimately, I think it just comes down to him being the hometown guy. He's going to find a way, just like Todd Frazier did the other years in Cincinnati when the All-Star game was out there. I think Bryce Harper's just going to be able to find a way how to do it. And, you know, ultimately, I don't want him to win. I really, you know, would like Javier Baez or even Alex Bregman to pull up an offset against Kyle Schwarber, but ultimately, I do think it's going to be Harper versus Schwarber, and I think Harper's just going to be able to overpower him. He's got a longer distance, a higher exit velo. You know, his launch angle is a little bit more, and his barrel percentage is a little bit less, but I think, you know, it's just going to come down to Harper being the hometown guy. People are going to get behind him, and he's just going to be hitting dongs left, right, out of the park, and Schwarber's just not going to be able to quite compete. Obviously, Schwarber has a few less home runs, and I think that's just what's going to be able to bite him. The longer distance could, you know, help Harper with over 440, but I do believe that, you know, both guys will be able to compete. It'll be very close, and I think Bryce Harper will be able to pull it off. That is my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, though. I'd love to hear what you have to say, who you think is going to win. Do you think Hoskins has a chance at the 8th seed? Do you think Freeman could beat Harper in the first round? Or do you think even, you know, Bregman could win the whole thing? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinion, and we can have a conversation about that. Thank you for watching The First Pitch. I'm Brent, also known as Clemhawks. Make sure to come back tomorrow for more MLB news, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.